Timothy and I first crossed paths 8 years back in an odd situation. We were both trapped in a tiny town eatery amid the huge flood in 2016. The streets were shut down, phone signals were out, and we wound up joining some residents for card games that lasted 6 hours. He got me chuckling in what could have been a tense moment. Once the connection returned, we swapped Instagram handles, began seeing each other a month afterward, and tied the knot 2 years later. Our girl Avery is now 6 and truly the highlight of my existence. She's this whirlwind of vitality, constantly twirling, whirling, leaping onto couches no matter how often I warn her against it. A couple of months back, she returned from class chattering endlessly about her pal Olivia joining dance lessons, where the instructor allows them to use actual ballet slippers, and if she could pretty please join as well. I figure it was an excellent plan since Avery's got tons of vigor, and dance seemed ideal for channeling it. That evening, when I mentioned to Timothy, his response was strange. He glanced up from his device and chuckled, but not kindly, the scoffing huff that put me on guard right away. He claimed we couldn't swing extras like dance lessons on his income by itself, and if I hoped for Avery to join costly hobbies, perhaps I ought to pitch him more money-wise. This threw me off entirely. I reduced to half-time work following Avery's birth, a choice we both settled on, and as far as I could tell, we weren't in financial trouble. We own a simple home, 2 older vehicles that are fully owned, and though we skipped fancy trips, I didn't believe we were in such bad shape that $60 monthly for dance was impossible. When I pointed that out, Timothy opened our banking app and displayed how scant the funds were post bills each month. The figures felt wrong in some way, but I couldn't pinpoint it. He's always overseen our money matters since he's got a knack for figures, so I consented to add another gig, landing an after-hours role at a nearby eatery. The routine was grueling. My usual work daytime, then serving tables for evenings weekly. I'd return drained, soles throbbing, reeking of deep-fried grease. Timothy called me over dramatic when I noted my fatigue. He even remarked, and I'll always remember, that I had no right to feel worn out if I hardly added to the finances. I bit my tongue because, after all, this was for Avery's dance sessions. But 3 months into the extra work, Avery remained unsigned for any lessons. Whenever I raised it, Timothy had a reason. The top studio was booked. Better to hold off for the upcoming term. We ought to stash a little extra beforehand. In the meantime, I began spotting details like Avery chatting about zoo visits with Timothy during my shifts, or arriving with fresh playthings I hadn't purchased, or referencing a person called Lisa, evidently Daddy's buddy. When I nonchalantly inquired about Lisa to Timothy, he described her as merely a colleague dealing with a split who occasionally joined them since she felt isolated. He noted she was great with children, and it provided him grown-up chat on nights I was out. It seemed reasonable, I suppose, but then Avery began uttering odd comments, like how Lisa snaps nicer pictures than Mommy, or wondering if Lisa could attend her birthday. And the big one, she occasionally referred to me as Mara rather than Mommy. When I questioned her on it, she just shrugged and explained Lisa calls you Maya, so I assumed that was your name as well. That triggered huge red flags. I scanned Timothy's Instagram, nothing fishy, no Lisa. Checked his Facebook, same. When I tried mentioning her casually once more, he grew annoyed and declared I was overthinking, and a companionship wasn't open for debate. Matters truly unraveled 3 months ago. I returned early one evening, since the eatery was quiet. The place was vacant, Timothy's vehicle absent, and he ignored messages. He eventually replied, saying they were getting frozen treats and heading back shortly. When they showed up an hour on, Avery sported a brand new ensemble I'd never spotted, and was buzzing about the animated film they'd viewed, not frozen treats, a film, and from her words, it obviously involved Lisa. Once Avery was tucked in, I challenged Timothy, questioning his fib about the location, why Avery had new garb when we allegedly couldn't fund dance, who precisely this Lisa was to our household. He got this icy expression I'd never witnessed and remarked, perhaps if you were more enjoyable, she'd still address you as Mommy. I stood frozen, furious, wounded, but I stayed silent, just nodded and left, because what response is there to that? That was 5 months past, and from then, I've been observant, laboring and monitoring, and the pattern is evident. Timothy has business meals that conveniently land on my free evenings. Avery speaks of overnighting at Lisa's, when I pull late hours. There are debits on our card for eateries and films on evenings Timothy claimed late work. Timothy has fresh attire, a snazzy new wrist gadget. Yet we still can't cover Avery's dance. Last week, while aiding Avery tidy her space, I discovered a pile of snapshots hidden in her drawer, images of her, Timothy, and a lady I'd never encountered at a theme park, a splash zone, what appeared a holiday event. The pics had timestamps on reverse. This has lasted over a year, predating my extra job. The lady, Lisa presumably, is attractive in that social media star style. Fair-haired, flawless smile. The sort of relaxed, pricey outfits that seem effortless but likely equal a week's eatery pay. In one shot, Avery wears a dance ensemble, a genuine one with skirt and all. The dates indicated over a year prior. So he enrolled her in lessons then and halted. She never shared, and I remained unaware until Olivia raised anew. Thus, he informed me we couldn't fund dance, prompted my second gig, all as he ferried our child to lessons with another lady and spent amply on it. Yesterday, Avery inquired if Lisa would become her new mommy one day. Just like that, during breakfast amid cereal nibbles. I almost spilled my mug. I asked what prompted that. She shrugged and said since Daddy and Lisa are close pals, and she beds in Daddy's space when I overnight at her place. I haven't processed that yet. I haven't faced Timothy because I must be strategic. Can't erupt and worsen for Avery. So here's my strategy. I'm obtaining duplicates of all our money logs for the last year. I'm adjusting my eatery hours to match Avery's routine better. I'm preserving every image, every bit of proof I uncover. I've booked a session with an attorney next week. I'm finished being manipulated. Finished toiling to fatigue while my spouse constructs a fresh household with someone else. Finished seeing my girl drift from me. First update. So I have news and it's bad. Recall how I said I'd seek copies of our money records? Well, I went further. Timothy's always controlled our funds, saying I'm poor with cash. His phrase, not mine. Our primary account is shared. But he established a digital banking ages ago, and I saw I lacked a login anymore. The code I recall failed when I attempted it. Rather than querying him, which would have alerted him instantly, I visited our bank location last Wednesday on my midday break. The clerk first eyed me doubtfully when I described needing reports but no online entry to my account. But upon presenting ID and clarifying I was a co-holder who simply required access to our home finances, she was very accommodating. What I uncovered made me want to vomit on the spot in the bank foyer. For the past 18 months, Timothy's been shifting funds, steady sums, typically $300 to $500, to an unknown separate account, like routine on the first each month, plus sporadic extra shifts throughout, occasionally minor, sometimes bigger, matching what I now recognize as those business journeys he'd take. The totals reached over $20,000 in the prior year alone. $20,000. And meanwhile, I'm doing double duties in eatery for months because we purportedly could manage $60 monthly for dance. That's under what he moves to this hidden account in one day at times. But hold on, it worsens. The reports displayed frequent charges at spots I didn't know. Plenty of dining bills far above what we splurge as a family. Hotel fees in close cities. A gem shop by over $1,000 at holiday time. What was present to me was a $20 wrap from a discount store, which I appreciated then since we were pinching pennies. After the bank, I headed home and did what I'd never done. Rummaged Timothy's desk compartments while he was away. I felt like an intruder in my residence, palms trembling as I sifted papers, but what I unearthed was more awful than pictured. A card bill for an account solely in Timothy's name, with fees for airfare to Florida 3 months back. During the week, he said he was at a seminar up north. 2 fares, one his, one Lisa Harrington's. I snapped pics of it all on my device, proof. Then I located the tax notice for a unit across town that I was clueless about owning. Or rather, Tim owns, his name alone on the paper, bought a year ago. Guess where Avery spent those evenings when I toil late? Not Lisa's home as she claims, but an entire distinct property my spouse acquired, without me knowing. Edit. And that's when it all began snapping together. For months, I've been wearing myself out of the eatery for a couple $100 more. Cash he didn't require. I once believed he pushed a second gig because we were pinched, perhaps tighter than I grasped, but now I view it as it was, a method to occupy me, away from home, too weary to probe. If I'm absent nightly, then Lisa becomes the one handling tuck-ins, whipping flapjacks, acting as parent. That extra work wasn't for dance. It was to sideline me. I passed the remaining afternoon in an eerie, serene daze, systematically photographing all I found, replacing it precisely, then perching on our rear deck, gazing blankly until Avery's school pickup, when she dashed out, beaming upon spotting me rather than Timothy. He typically handles Wednesdays. I resolved, no more eatery hours during her alert time, no more skipping tucks and school happenings, no more permitting this other lady to usurp my role. That evening, I phoned the eatery and reshuffled my times, dawn slots before Avery rises, and only 2 evening ones on weekends when she's with pals. Less cash, but I prefer noodles for meals and forfeit another instant of my child's youth. Timothy was taken aback when I shared the shift change. Wonder if it meant ditching the second gig altogether. I merely grinned and stated I craved more moments with Avery. He appeared uneasy, muttered about still requiring the added funds. I just shrugged and said I'd handle it. The following day, I treated Avery to frozen treats post-school. Solely us. She acted nearly timid with me initially, which shattered my core, when had my child turned distant. But by Sunday's end, she was babbling on about schoolmates. I inquired lightly if she still desired dance lessons. Her whole expression glowed, revealing all. So I headed directly to Olivia's dance spot and registered her immediately. Covered 3 full months up front with my eatery gratuities I'd hoarded. When I informed Avery, she began bounding in the lot, asked when she could share with Lisa. I maintained even tone and said Lisa didn't need every detail. This could be our unique bond, just Mom and Avery. That weekend marked Avery's debut session. I got her a fitting bodysuit and those tiny dance flats she'd yearned for. Timothy was oddly silent upon our return with her gear. Queried the fun source. I simply said I'd save for Avery's treat. He didn't press, but I sensed his displeasure. Over ensuing weeks, I persisted probing, located Lisa's Instagram, locked, but her display image verified she was a photo woman. Found her professional profile, same firm as Timothy, no shock. Located the unit's deed, acquired 2 months post his belt-tightening talk and my extra hour suggestion. Each find fueled my rage, but also resolve. I began duplicating key papers. Opened my solo account at another bank. Started funneling minor sums from eatery gratuities there. Had my mom's safeguard evidence copies in case. Shared we had troubles but skipped specifics. Didn't wish to alarm her yet. Last Tuesday, I consulted an attorney, detailed all, hidden accounts, unit, journeys, everything. She absorbed it neutrally, jotting notes, posing clarifiers occasionally. Upon wrapping, she glanced up from notes and asked my goals. I hadn't voiced them even inwardly. What did I seek? I want my girl wholly back. I want money security independent of a deceptive man for years. I want to never again doubt my sanity for querying inconsistencies. I want Lisa gone from our lives. I want Timothy accountable for his actions. The attorney agreed, said options existed, with money proof plus affair records, grounds for good split terms. She recommended ongoing evidence, but cautioned against alerting him prematurely. Meanwhile, Avery bonds improved daily. She adores lessons, requests home practice, and rather than sharing Lisa's teachings, she said mommy again after months, prompting my bathroom retreat to hide tears. Timothy's grown edgier, phone checking often, late arrivals, early exits. Yesterday, I overheard his yard call in that low, strained arguing tone sans eavesdroppers, snippets on suspicion, queries, needing time. I feigned ignorance. Last night, matters peaked unexpectedly. Timothy returned agitated, paced kitchen as I cooked, watched glancing constantly. Finally asked when I dropped his dance folly as needless cost. I continued veggies slicing, didn't glance, said Avery cherished it and I prepaid 3 months. He banged counter, rattling plates, demanded money origin. I looked up, blade in grip, said my earned tips were mine, especially for our girl. His expression twisted, undecided on fury or fear. He stormed off, door slamming. She heard from upstairs, rushed down, asked Daddy's whereabouts. I embraced her, Said he needed fresh air. We had girls' evening. Pizza, nails, living room dance drills. He returned post-midnight. I faked sleep. This morning, text from Timothy's mom on anniversary bash next weekend. Eager to see us. His dad, thrilled to meet Timothy's pal Lisa, attending too. Reread. His folks' event, inviting Lisa, whom they know as mere friend. I replied we'd attend. Nice to meet Lisa personally. Screenshot kept naturally. Then I phoned attorney. Thinking perfect reveal spot. Family events and scenes. Parents as observers, Lisa there, ending pretense. Attorney deemed risky yet viable. Suggested printed key money docs. Nothing dismissible. So status, 1 week to bash. I'm scared but oddly steady. I've assembled what Mom terms a screw you binder. Statement copies, property info, pics, all tidy, undeniable proof. I'm finished as weary server on doubles, while hubby crafts secret existence with another. Finished financial manipulation. Finished viewing another usurp my maternal spot. Second update. For days since prior post, things accelerate. Writing from Mom's spare room at 2 a.m., sleepless. This week's been wild. Bash tomorrow. Prepping variously. But yesterday's surprise unsettled me. Rewind to post last update. Day after learning Timothy planned Lisa at Parents' Bash, I risked calling his mom, rare, as he manages family talks. Casually noted eagerness meeting Lisa, asked her knowledge. Awkward silence. Then she said Timothy portrayed Lisa aiding Avery, while I built career via second gig. Struggling parent-work balance. Lisa friendly helper. Mom sounded compassionate toward Lisa. This affair partner playing mom to my girl. Mentioned Timothy hosted Lisa dinner at theirs last month during my late shift for family funds. Supposedly, I uttered non-committal sounds and a call pre-regret, then screamed into coat in store lot 5 minutes. Post-call enlisted my mom. Kept her semi-unaware of severity. 3 hours distant. No worry desired, but needed support. Finally spilled all. Mom raged at Timothy, me for silence. Intense talk. She offered a media drive. I insisted solo handling. Compromise. She'd arrived day post-bash for Avery aid amid fallout. With that set, focus on 3. Bolstering Avery tie. Completing proof, mental prep. For Avery, full dance commitment. I joined parent session mentioned, awful at it newborn giraffe grace. Avery finds funny positively. She's instructing me move seriously, mini teacher. Our thing. Wednesday, early school pickup. Frozen treats. Amid Sundays. She asked if mad at her for liking Lisa. Deep breath. Said never mad for caring. Adult issues between me, Daddy, Lisa not her blame or concern. She relaxed, then dropped another. If Lisa would reside at other house full-time now. Asked other house meaning. She described normally. Daddy, Lisa's place for overnights. Her pink room with toys unfit for our home. Unicorn, toothbrush. Confirmation. Discovered unit is Lisa's spot. Parallel life with Avery bedroom. Kept composure. Probe curiously sans world shift show. Learned building pool. Lisa's Mickey flapjacks. That night post-Avery sleep. Arrayed all proof. Statements, records, pics, texts. Made attorney-term divorce package. Organized folder. Multi-location copies. /digital/physical. 1 mom, 1 email. 1 new cloud, Timothy unknown. Then unplanned. Drove past unit address from papers. No entry /confront intent. Just visualize. Fancy new downtown build, ground shops, upscale units. Monthly exceeds our mortgage. Next day, Timothy odd, early home, rare. Specific queries on my routine. Avery watchers during eatery, mom's visit plans. Once lifted my phone from counter, asked passcode change. No. Careful pattern maintenance. Said perhaps misrecall. He retried, entered, quick scroll, down like nil. That night, suggested relationship chat. From marriage-long avoidance king. Began knowing recent hardships. Thought phase workable. Perhaps cut eatery for stress cut. I nodded, would consider. Internally, alerts blared. He sent something. Maybe Lisa spotted me outside unit. Mom mentioned call. Notice copy docs returned. Friday morning yesterday. Awoke to Timothy gone. Odd weekday. Bed unslept. Avery said pre her wake. Dropped her school, met attorney final pre-bash. Reviewed proof, confrontation approach, post expectations. Warned gaslighting attempts, anger, family term, but proof hard denial. Home, flower vase on counter. Rose's card, I love our family tea. 8 marriage years, flowers twice, dating post Avery. Not sorry blooms, these I know. Place guest bath, continued day. Post-school Avery pickup, 17 missed Timothy calls. Texted silent during meet. All okay? Immediate call. Panic where I slash Avery. Said mall for Avery bash outfit. Calmed. Home dinner. Family night? Agreed. Arrived pizza / ice cream. Avery faves. Super dad evening. Games, homework, bath offer. Actor for year dad. Post Avery bed. Couch close, months voluntary distance. Talk family trip soon, just 3. Future thoughts. Avery needs both. Sat observing devoted hubby act. Wondering if he thought I bought. Reached hand. Allowed. Easier than withdraw. Palm clammy. Asked bash attendance plans. Said yes, why not? Relief comical. Casually Lisa likely skipping. Family crisis. Nodded. Pity anticipated meeting. This morning, awoke to him watching sleep. Not romantic. Anxious oversight. Eyes open. He faked rising. Offered breakfast. Park pre-parents. Smiled. Nice. Showered. Emerged catching phone scroll. Unseen from hall. Throat clear, he jolted. Dropped on couch. Decided backup need. Post-breakfast. Said quick gift errand for parents. Instead, moms spilled recent days. Asked now return not tomorrow. Mom packed 10 minutes. Drove back. Driveway. Timothy porch. Arms folded. Ghostly at mom's site. Next hours. Him charming mom. Panic glances at me unseen. Mom polite / cold. Me normal pretense. Mental bash prep. Told Timothy moms tonight for her brunch setup aid next week. Argued futile with mom present. So here moms. Evidence / chains closed for tomorrow's 3 p.m. bash. Timothy thinks meet there. Parents expect us / Avery. Attorneys standby post call. Lisa, I suspect attendance despite crisis claim. Anyway, ready. Pics undeniable. No bash confront might seem harsh, but post-months manipulation, lies, replacement watches Avery's mom, done shielding his emotions / repute. Parents merit son's truth knowledge. I merit dignity reclaim on terms. Final update. 3 weeks post-parents bash. Tried update writing often. Typed / deleted. Words uncoalesce. Hard process, but Otakaiма Sagers. Thanks. Read Allsan's energy reply. Day diverged from vision. Mom / I / Avery arrived post. 3. Timothy outside pacing driveway. Looked rough. Unshaved, creased shirt, fidgety hands. Car door open. He approached saying alone, talk now. Avoided Avery argue view. Said greet parents first. Walked. He trailed, muttering inaudible. Inside warm / familiar. 40-year couple picks walls. 15 to 20 guest drinks / chats. His mom quick hug Avery. Praise dress. To me said glad made it. Timothy hinted work stuck. Stung. Excuses planted. Said scheduled weeks ago. She paused unsure, smiled, proceeded. Had folder. Days assembled statements. Pics property. Lunch seating. Handed his mom. Said family view needed. She opened. Flipped transfers. Avery Timothy Lisa pics. Unit records. Face altered disbelief. Timothy grabbed, saying not appears. Dad intercepted. Read page by page. Timothy explained misunderstanding. Money elsewhere. Pics dated. Sounded empty. Dad asked truth after minute. Timothy fumbled marriage hard excuse. Flopped. Mom asked my late tell. Said recent full truth discovery. She nodded, torn unsure. Then Lisa entered. Half-hour later doorbell. Her gift bag smiling belonging. Timothy paled, whispered leave urge. She saw me, paused silent. His sister first. Asked marriage knowledge. Lisa, yes, but separated per him. Cohabiting Avery till settled. Sister showed folder Christmas pic. Us 3. Asked separated look. Lisa speechless. Left minutes later. Timothy trailing explained promised family. Avery outside hole. Mom/cousin's backyard play away. His dad later asked accuracy. Said yes. Nodded. Sorry that it. Mom guess moved. Glanced me wanting more. Finally private talk request. But said Avery home soon. Thank hosting. Sorry outcome left. Dad handshake. Mom quick unsure hug. That night Timothy calls repeated. Ignored. Next day lawyer. Divorce paper start. Not finished. Far. Filed temp Avery custody. Timothy resists claiming cutout attempt. Moved days later. Diner time took clothes/garage stuff. Think unit now unasked. Avery hardest. Asks daddy where. Home absence. Say apart living. Both love immense. Some days okay. Others no. Last weekend sleep cried missing him/Lisa. If mad at her. Held. Not fault. Broke me. Still mentions Lisa house. Pool. Toys. Unsure handling yet. Cut eatery to few dawns. Avery post school. Funds tight. Timothy support due. Court pending forever. Managing regular job/tip remnants. Avery dances on. Loves too much quit. Her smile sustain. Timothy diner twice post night. First counter stood sleepless looking. Talk request. Said working moved. Manager ousted linger. Second outside shift and wait. Mistake admit. Fix want. Said can't anymore. Walked. Texted since Mrs. Shorts. Unreplied. Parents called Sunday. Mom Avery how. Unaware severity. Sounded sorrowful/guilty-ish little else. Said no grudge. Need time pre-more talk. Unsure Timothy words now. Figuring next. Some days stable. Avery dinner. Living room steps. Others hit. Post-school drop car cry. How here wonder. Divorce month/longer. Hidden money outcome unknown. Not ended clean, but least no pretense. Days ago lawyer source money. Timothy side work contracts untold. Routed payment second account. Quiet steady hidden. That funded unit. Trips. All. While I tip counted shoes, he built second life with unknown cash.